Welcome, everyone. My name is Amy. I took a sign language class in 10th grade, but I forgot a lot. So I'm very excited to be here. Today is the International Day of Sign Languages that is recognized by the United Nations. Our Office for the Global Engagement has been affiliated with United Nations for several years now, officially about 4, I believe. And we are so very happy that Michael came to us with this idea to host this event. And we're very excited to see you. I will let Michael introduce the panelists, and he will explain how the rest of the evening will proceed. Again, thank you so much for your attendance. This event will be filmed via Zoom to our YouTube channel, and we'll have all that information on our website, www.uvu.edu/global. And again, welcome. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Come on in, come on in, come on. It's an absolute pleasure to have everybody here today to celebrate International Day of Sign Languages. There are a lot of different sign languages that are being celebrated, and so this is for us to get together and talk about that this evening. Here in the ASL and Deaf Studies program here at the college, we have long been involved in the engagement and also in the community building. I think we've done fairly well with our connections with the local deaf community. The college has been very supportive in that, and so we're very excited to have events like this. We recognize some of you here from other departments here on campus. And so this is really the representation of a long and very fruitful collaboration with the community as well as with the college. We also see this as kind of an extension of our Deaf Studies Today conference, which we hold every 1, 2, 3 years or so. That conference has become nationally as well as internationally known across our field, so we're really grateful for that. By way of introduction, I'm Dr. Michael Ballard, the coordinator of the ASL and the ASL program here in the college. We have some esteemed panelists here this evening, and we've asked them to come from various places in our community to come share some thoughts with us. This is Tanisha Slack, just immediately to my left. She's here next year and taken a position, and we're very excited to have her with us this evening. Next to her is a current UV manager, our panelist is a current student here at the college and is looking to graduate, I think, next year, right? Hopefully, Ben says. Hopefully, yes. Keep going then, Ben. Hang in there, or you're going to get there. To his left is Anna Pauling Allred. Anna is an alumna of our program, and so it's nice to have that connection here from the community as well. Anna teaches ASL and has for the past 10 years at our local high schools in the area, and she is welcoming her 4th child here in the next couple of months. Anna also represents our Indigenous population as well, and Anna is a Native American, and she'll be talking more about her connections to her community and more about her identity later in this evening. And then finally, on the far left, we have Gohar Nisar, who comes from England, who's in our community now. We're really happy that we could have Gohar. It's all been kind of a confluence of events here. The Nisars moved here just a couple of months ago, and we're really happy to have him on our panel this evening. So here's what this is going to look like this evening. I'm going to be asking each of our panelists 4 questions, and they'll be responding in kind with their answers. With the time we have after that, we're going to turn some time over to you to come up and ask some questions. You can do that either in sign language or in spoken English, doesn't matter. We'll take care of the interpretation for you. And then we'll have a wrap up there at the end. YouTube, I believe, will allow this presentation to be captioned. For now, it'll be auto captioned. When we put this onto the internet, we'll take a couple of weeks to get those captions correct. We'll get them all cleaned up and put a proper transcript there with the YouTube video. As was indicated before, that'll be under the channel of the Office of Global Engagement. So with that introduction, are you ready to get started this evening? Panelists, I hope you're ready as well. Excellent. Again, I want to thank you for spending some time with us this evening, preparing some answers and to talk about these issues in our community. We're really excited today to celebrate International Sign Language Day. We're also very excited to celebrate the diversity of peoples that are in our sign language communities. So we look forward to hearing more about your experiences and some of your thoughts this evening. My first question to the panel here is, in what ways has sign language shaped who you are? I grew up not using American Sign Language as my first language. I grew up using a hybrid of sign as well as English. Over time, learning more about my culture and learning more about American Sign Language has really shaped me to who I am today, I would say. It's an indelible part of my personality. I can't imagine myself without that. Great, thank you, Anna. My second is my entire life. I sign it as well. I sign ASL as well as Black Sign Language in my communities where I grew up. It's an absolute indelible part of who I am. You can't remove me from my language. I sign in my sleep. I sign when I dream. It's who I am. It's how I communicate myself to the world. This has been, for me, I have also been a signer my entire life. I received sign language from my parents. My parents are not deaf, but they gave me a language at birth, which gave me a choice that helped me to identify if I wanted to be a deaf person or if I wanted to be a person that lived within hearing communities. I'm grateful to have had that choice, and it's definitely shaped me and made me who I am.
For me, I grew up in an oral system, or my oral education. My parents didn't have any sign language. At school, we weren't allowed to sign until I was about 16, 17 when I left school. And had some friends ask me about going to a deaf center. I was like, but what is that? And I was worried it was more like a bar and weren't allowed, but that was the first time I really saw deaf people signing. I hadn't seen that before. At school, we were literally told off for signing if we started to. And so that's how I started to get sign language in my life.
Several of you have commented that sign language is just, it's part of your DNA. It's who you are. As a follow-up question here. So for example, Ben, you mentioned that you were given a choice by your parents when you were very young and chose to be who you are and pursue that particular journey. Can you talk a little bit more about that? For me, I love being able to communicate in a visual way. When I was young, my parents asked, "Are you interested in an implant, receiving a cochlear implant?" And I have to admit, I was a little scared by that. I didn't want to be changed at a particular time in my life. I was happy to communicate the way that I do, and I still do.
I guess I would add that, I didn't take all the sign language in that first night. It took me a while. And at first my parents weren't that pleased with me because they did think that if I didn't sign, I'd be able to succeed better in the hearing, that the deaf community was have, careers and things. And I remember feeling that kind of, oh, which way's the best to carry on? But I met a few of kind of the deaf leaders in the community, and that really helped me make a decision that deaf people, the first time I'd met deaf adults who were successful, who'd had a good education, and my parents didn't know about that. They thought of deaf people as being uneducated and not many life chances. So it was something a bit more to hide maybe than, but for a little while at the beginning there, I was like, oh, which way do I want to go?
I grew up with hearing aids, and so I had a choice of where to participate and how much to participate. I had hearing aids all throughout school, and I was expected at home to speak. My parents didn't sign, but they did want me to participate in my culture. They did want that as part of my life. Also, growing up, I had the opportunity to be around other people in my community who helped me to part of my I want to add here, like others have said here, I know language wasn't the first language. Also, trying to understand what I was expected to be. That was a bit of a challenge, to be honest. I'm happy that I had people in my help me understand that it was okay to be deaf. That despite the struggles or the